All right, let's talk about Threads, what people are calling the Twitter killer. This app just dropped yesterday, at least I think it did. I'm not super sure. I just started hearing about it last night right before I went to bed. So I downloaded it, I've been playing with it a lot, and I want to give you my thoughts on what I think it is. I'm gonna break this video down into a few different parts. First, pros of Threads, cons, bugs I think that will be fixed, and then my overall final thoughts about whether I think it is the new social media platform to be using. Also, for those who might be new to the channel, I am Jake Weisler, and I'll be posting a lot more videos on this channel, so make sure you hit the subscribe button, and I appreciate your support. First, let's talk about the pros of Threads. Now, the biggest pro of Threads right now is it's brand new. It's fresh, it's a new app, has a new interface. It's a brand new social media platform that everyone's really hyped about. Social media has kind of been stale since TikTok. Nothing's really come out since TikTok. So having a brand new social media platform is super fun. So that would definitely be the biggest and first pro. And not to mention, another huge pro of Threads is the user interface. It's very simple. The interface is broken into 5 main tabs. You have your homepage tab, which shows everyone's threads that you're following, plus recommended pages that you're not following, and you can't turn that feature off yet, and we'll talk about that later. Then you have a search tab, which as of now is just to search accounts. You can't search hashtags. There actually aren't hashtags. You can't search media. You can't search topics. You can't search anything except accounts. Then you have your compose a thread tab, your notifications / activities tab, which can be organized by all, replies to your threads, mentions of you in a thread, or just verified accounts you follow. And then of course your profile tab, which shows you your profile and your threads. So it's a fresh platform. It's very easy to explore. It's very easy to navigate. There's not a huge learning curve. You can set up your account and just get started, which is a huge pro to any social media. I think especially with like TikTok and Instagram Reels, there was a learning curve. It took about a year for people to start understanding how to use the platform and make really cool content. This isn't like that. This is a lot easier, and it's meant to be easier. And we'll talk more about that why. The next biggest pro is that this isn't technically a brand new app because it is integrated in links to Instagram. So instead of feeling like you have to start a new social media platform and grow a new following and bring people off of one platform to a new one, it's integrated very well so that you can feel like you're growing one audience over 2 platforms. Right when you create the app, Instagram allows you to follow people on Instagram who haven't even created a Threads profile yet. So when I joined Threads, people who were already on had already followed me, and then once I activated my account, I had 500 instant followers. So having it be a complete integrated social media platform that links to Instagram is very nice, especially for creators who put so much time into Instagram. And when you post a thread, you can directly share it to your Instagram story or Instagram feed within one tap, and it's a super nice feature. Not to mention that when you're on someone's profile and you click on the Instagram icon, it takes you directly to their Instagram page without you needing to do anything like click a link or follow a link chain. It auto opens Instagram and shows you their profile. I put this on my pro list, but hashtags are no longer a thing. I'm not sure they're needed. I think algorithms have evolved so much that we are now starting to search keywords. I know Instagram in their last update removed the necessity for hashtags, and they prioritize the keyword in your description. I know YouTube's been doing this for a long time. So I think technology is kind of naturally evolving to that point where we no longer need to do hashtag a word for the algorithm and the AI to say, okay, I need to push that type of content to certain people who are interested in these topics. So I'm kind of all for that. I think hashtags have been annoying to keep up with, especially since they're so saturated now. A smarter, more intuitive social media platform that recognizes what you're talking about and pushes it to the right people is good. Speaking of which though, I don't know if there is technically a quote unquote algorithm yet. My homepage feels very random and very based on who I follow and who my followers follow, which I kind of think is a pro because I think sometimes explore pages get a little bit messy, but at the same time, it is nice to kind of see what's trending and what people are talking about. So not sure the algorithm is yet, if there is one, but we'll get to that later as well. Another nice feature is that on your homepage, when you see a recommended page, you can just click on their profile picture to follow them without having to go to their profile and hit follow like you do have to do on Instagram. Another huge pro of Threads that you can post high quality video content without needing to post it in 9:16 or a cropped format. So I did a test and I posted a 2:39:1 aspect ratio 1080p clip to Threads, and it looked great. It was widescreen, it didn't compress it too much, and so far it looks like the compression isn't that bad at all, especially compared to Instagram and TikTok, which kind of prioritize the 720p upload. I can post horizontal 2:39:1 1080p clips and it still looks amazing. So I'm gonna put that as a huge pro. Maybe a con, videos are auto muted unless you open up the video. So even if you're looking at the thread, it won't play audio until you click on the video and allow sound, then you can start listening to the sound. Another pro is that you can set limits for how long you're using the app, which I guess is cool. If you have to go into the app and have the app help you with self-control on using that app, you have a bigger problem that needs to be fixed off the app. You should be learning self-control without using the app that you're trying to restrain from. Another great feature that I would say is a pro that Twitter has been doing a lot better, that Elon kind of started doing, is organizing threads. So once someone replies to a thread and someone replies to that reply, it organizes the thread tree by the top most recent thread that started the replies. So that way when you open a thread, you can quickly glance at all the replies to your thread, and if you want to see replies to other replies, you can open that tree as well, which again, kind of a standard now that Twitter's already been doing it for about a year, so love to see that. As for posting photos, it's a very nice feature. You can post up to 10 photos, you can do a carousel, and it's very clean, unlike Instagram where you have to do one at a time. Threads allows you to scroll through all the photos very cleanly, and you can click on one to enlarge it, but you can still kind of see multiple at a time as you scroll through, and it's very intuitive. It feels very good. I'm not sure if there's a video time upload. I tested uploading a 5-minute clip and it worked. All right, moving on to the cons list now. Here are some things that I think are cons of the app so far. And the next topic is bugs or features that I think will be fixed in the future. So I think some of these cons might even fall into that category better. But here are kind of my initial cons of the app after using it for a day. The first one, and this might be a hot take. I know some people are actually threading. We need a good word for tweeting. We need a threading word. I think threading is a weird word. Threading doesn't really flow off the tongue as naturally as tweeting does, or sending a tweet or posting a tweet, posting a thread. Posting a thread sounds good, but threading, I don't know. So kind of a pro, kind of a con. I'd say it's a con because I'm someone who really tries to make my Instagram feed aesthetic look really good and very minimal and clean. So the con of this is that it adds a gigantic, they call it a thread count under your profile that links directly to the app. So if someone lands on your profile, they can just click on that link and it will auto open the thread app, which is a nice intuitive feature. I just think after looking at it for a long time, it feels very big and out of place, especially when there's all this dead space on the right side of my profile. Why can't we utilize that space better and have it there? It just feels like a very big bubble. But if you try to remove that button, you can by tapping and holding it down. But if you hide the badge, you have to hide it forever. There's no way to undo that, which I think is very strange because what if you regret that decision? I think it's weird to have an ultimatum in a social media app where there's a feature that you can turn on and off, but it's a one-time decision. So that's kind of weird. I do like the feature itself. I hate how it looks on my Instagram feed. So I put it as a con. Another thing about just the aesthetic on the Threads profile is you can add a link in your bio, but it blends in and you kind of have to look for it. I think once we get more used to the interface, we won't even think about it, but it's the same color as that, that transparent gray that blends in with your follower count. And because of that, you just kind of like read past it. I think that should be at least like a light gray or even like a light blue, a transparent blue, like links usually are. Maybe you want to skim past the links. I don't know. I think people always want to kind of have a way to look at more resources on your profile, especially as creators. Another big con is that it's one more social media platform that you have to learn, that you have to use. And if you're someone who already struggles with posting on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and YouTube, this is just another social media platform that you have to keep up with and learn your way around and figure out how you can adapt to grow on this platform. Because this platform is very obviously focused on conversations rather than media. So there's a lot of people, I think Tom Nosk is one of them, who is going to thrive on this app because they facilitate great discussion on Twitter and Instagram stories. They're already in that conversation space. And so watch them blow up and thrive on this app. Whereas people who rely solely on content, posting videos, posting photos, they have to learn a whole new way of communicating with their audience because this audience is different. And you don't want to go onto Thread and see the exact same thing that people are posting on YouTube and Instagram. We're so sick of that. I know I'm so sick of seeing the same creator upload to YouTube Shorts, TikTok, and Instagram Reels all at the same time, and it's the exact same content in all three places. Mr. Beast talks about this all the time. If you're using this same content across all the platforms, you're doing yourself a huge disservice. Every platform is unique, and you need to learn how to adapt your content to each platform if you want to grow on each platform individually. But I would say that this is probably one of the easier, if you're a natural conversationalist, the easier apps to start learning and growing on, because it doesn't require, video editing or photo editing. It just requires a good discussion. Another huge con that I kind of mentioned earlier is that my homepage right now is bombarded with the random accounts that I have no interest in following, a lot of meme accounts, a lot of people's accounts who my followers follow, and there's no way to turn them off. I have to manually click on the account and mute it, and I'm not sure if muting it mutes just that account, or like TikTok's not interested feature, if it's saying Jake is not interested in accounts like this, so mute all future accounts like that on his page. I don't think it's there yet. I think it's just muting that one account. So I do think that will be fixed. I think there will be a way to filter that in the future. And the last con is just recency bias. This is the latest app. It's the newest app out there. It's the latest social media platform. So there's a lot of recency bias in my opinion, and also in other creators' opinions of the app itself. But I remember similar conversations happening about Clubhouse, Vero, even Be Real, apps that had a lot of hype for a brief time, but they just never stuck. And I'm going to talk about why I don't think Threads will fall into that same category at the end of this video. Bugs/features I think they'll fix. First one is you can share your threads intuitively to your Instagram feed and your story, but you can't share your profile, which I think is a huge L, especially as everyone's trying to share their profiles. I think Threads is trying to make us all just share our threads. But for example, if I wanted to share my thread profile on a specific thread, I have to go and copy my thread URL profile and share it that way via a link. But there's no Instagram story sticker for thread profiles. There's no intuitive way to share my profile to my story, which I feel like there should be. Again, I wrote this down again, but you can't filter your homepage to be just people you follow, which I do think they'll fix once, more people come in. But right now it's just really annoying, which kind of bothers me though, because Instagram has that feature already. And it's the same code, so why not just put it into this new app? Your following list isn't intuitive. In fact, I didn't even know you could look at who you were following until I accidentally clicked on my followers. There's no link. There's no reason for you to think that clicking on your followers will open up a new page. But when you do, you can see your followers, who you're following, and then any pending requests. It's not very intuitive, but I'll put that as something I think they'll fix in the future. I put this as something I think they're going to fix, sadly, is that the UI, the user interface, is a little too simple. It's kind of like Be Real. It reminds me a lot of Be Real. It's very simple. There's not a whole lot of things to explore. There's almost nothing to customize. Everyone gets kind of the same experience. But that's also why I think it's so fun right now, because everyone just starts at level 0. I'm sure as time goes on, it will get busier. It will start getting ads, bigger explore feed, maybe more features. Think about Instagram 5 years ago versus today. I'm going to enjoy it a lot now because I love how simple it is, but I do think that's something they're going to fix in the future. And lastly, moving on to my final thoughts on this app. Is it the Twitter killer? It's too soon to say. And that's probably not the answer you're wanting. But again, we have a lot of recency bias right now. But everyone I'm seeing join Threads is threading, tweeting, threading, posting a thread about how we all missed the Twitter train. If you were on the Twitter train 5-10 years ago, you missed it. And I think if Threads wasn't integrated into Instagram, I wouldn't care about it at all. But because it's integrated easily, that makes it a lot more appealing for me to start to grow on that and want to explore that more. But to Twitter's credit, Twitter has way more features than Threads does right now. But again, you're comparing version 100 Twitter to version 1 Threads. So let's compare Twitter the day it came out to Threads today, and they're pretty similar. But I do think Twitter has gone stale. I've been loving what Elon's doing with Twitter, but again, it feels like a platform that if you weren't there at the beginning, you're way behind. If your goal is to grow a following. And I've personally always wanted to make my Twitter account bigger and grow that way. I've always wanted a platform where I can kind of just share my thoughts, post a quick sentence, talk about something I'm thinking about without really caring a whole lot, but putting a lot of effort into it. But Twitter was just always so hard to grow. I didn't give it a ton of effort, but the times I tried, for example, I have 60,000 followers on Instagram. And when I would tell people to go follow me on Twitter or push people to Twitter, I would literally maybe gain 3 followers each time. It just took a long time. I've had Twitter for, since 7-8 years, and I only have 299 followers. Versus an Instagram integrated app like Threads, I created an account, and within 10 or 15 minutes, I had 1,000 followers. And I woke up this morning, 2,500 followers. And as of now, just a few hours later, I'm at 3,100 followers. So it feels already a lot easier to grow because it's helping you grab your Instagram following and putting it onto this app, which is why I think everyone's loving it so much right now, is because no one feels like they're starting a brand new platform. They feel like they're just bringing their audience over to Threads and everyone's already there. I'm also very excited to start conversations. Instagram allows you to do polls and questions on your stories and things like that, but the only way to kind of converse with your audience is in the comment section, and that's what Threads is supposed to be. It's a conversation app. It's a place where you're supposed to facilitate discussion and easily be able to digest that conversation. And my last thought is I'm just excited to see what it turns into. Every app is made for one purpose, and then the audience, we turn it into something else. Think about what Facebook was created for versus what it turned into. Think about TikTok, what it was created to be versus what the audience turned it into. So I'm excited to see if Threads does the exact same thing. But overall, call it recency bias, call it, the new toy, whatever you want to call it. I am excited to be on Threads. I'm excited to explore something. I think social media has just been very stale for me within the last few years, and I think all of us are kind of dying to have conversations. But that is it for my take on Threads, the Twitter killer. But I want to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments below what you think of Threads, if you like the app, if you don't like the app, and why. Or if you want to start a discussion with me, I would love to talk about it on Threads. If you want to start a thread with me about this video or about Threads in general, the pros and cons, your take, I would love to hear your hot takes. But that is it for this video, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Again, please subscribe if you haven't already. I'm going to be a lot more active on this YouTube channel. I'm excited to grow and excited for you to be here with me. I really got to think of a good outro, though. I could do the punch. That's the habit. That's the instinct, but that ship has sailed. Honestly, guys, if you have any ideas for a good outro sentence or phrase or catchphrase or stupid gimmick, please let me know in the comments. I got absolutely nothing. I could end with like an ASMR. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. If you have any questions, please let me know. I love you.